Do you work with a lot of venomous animals in general? I know, like we see a lot of the pythons and stuff, but do you have venomous animals?
So when you see these big snakes striking at me, they're not venomous. I'm not, typically I'm taking the eggs away because I can incubate them better than they can.
Okay.
Because most people don't really stop to think about it, but a python will have 100 eggs at a time, right? Anywhere between 20 to 100. And if the snake's having 100 eggs at a time, you could just about count on the fact that they don't have a good survival rate.
Yeah, that's true.
Because, it's like an insect. They have thousands of babies because they need it.
Yeah.
Well, snake has hundreds of babies because they need it. And so there's so many, when a snake crawls out of its egg and it's this long, it's food from everything from a rat to a crow to an owl, even a big frog. People don't really think everything's out to eat those things. They're just like walking, crawling sushi bars.
Yeah, exactly.
And so anyway, the eggs are not easy to hatch on top of it. And the funny thing is the kind of snakes that I specialize in are pythons. So we make them in all different color phases. So we get maybe one that's albino in the wild and one that's orange in the wild and one that's yellow in the wild. And then we combine them all together and make this albino that's super orange and super yellow. And so we combine them all in captivity. So first of all, the snakes that we're making aren't even from the wild. So sometimes people are like, oh my gosh, this should be free in the wild. Well, that'd be like, why do we live in houses?
Yeah.
People don't ever stop and think why we live in houses.
Like putting a chihuahua out in the forest and saying, see ya.
Exactly. It's just like, see ya, you're dead.
Yeah,
taking these little snakes are just like, executing them.
Yeah.
If you were to let them go in the wild. It's like taking your cat and your dog out and letting them go. Taking you to Africa and dump you off with the lions and tigers.
Yeah.
You're going to, the minute it gets dark and you hear the first lion start to roar, you're going to be crapping your pants because I've been there. If you want to talk about stuff that's scary, you go live in the wild.
Holy shit.
We call it the wild for a reason.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize that captivity is not such a bad place.